Good morning students. Today we will see the anatomy of the liver. This is the large structure that we call the liver. In introduction part or in the preface you simply answer the liver is the largest gland of our body. The gland, it secretes the bile, which is important for the process of digestion. So it is also included in the role of the digestive system. Now first we will see how to hold the liver in anatomical position. For that, first you identify this groove. This groove is called the groove for the inferior vena cava, and it should be vertical. So simply you just hold the liver that this groove for the inferior vena cava should be vertical and posterior. So you hold the liver like this, right? Now you can determine the 5 surfaces of the liver. This is the anterior surface, this is the right surface, this is the superior surface, this is the posterior surface, and below this is the inferior surface. So the liver has the 5 surfaces. Liver has only one border that we call inferior border. This inferior border separates the anterior surface and the inferior surface. Same way on the right side it separates the right surface and the inferior surface. You find various ligaments over the liver. This is the falciform ligament present on the anterior and superior surface of the liver. Same way if you go on the inferior surface you find there is the ligamentum teres, and here you find one fissure lodging this ligament that we call the fissure for ligamentum teres. Same way on the posterior inferior side you find another fissure which is lodging the ligamentum venosum, so that we call fissure for ligamentum venosum. These 3 ligaments help the liver to divide into right and left lobe anatomically. So here you find on the anterior and superior surface falciform ligament, on posteriorly you find there is a ligamentum venosum, and inferiorly you find there is a ligamentum teres. So this 3 ligaments divide liver into 2 lobes, the larger right lobe and the smaller left lobe. If we compare the size, the right lobe is almost of 5/6, while the left lobe is only of 1/6 of the total size of the liver. On the inferior border presents 2 notches. This is one notch, this is the other notch. This one notch almost at the level of the line separating or dividing the liver into right and left lobe, and that is why this notch we call the interlobar notch. Here you find another notch. Here there is a resting of the fundus for gallbladder, and that is why this notch is called the cystic notch. So this is about the 2 notches over the liver. Now we will see the different relations on the various surfaces of the liver. First we will see the superior surface. The superior surface is convex on the side and the concave in the middle. The diaphragm is like this. It's starting from here, it's little deepening over in the center and again goes like this. So this diaphragm is related on the superior surface, and the diaphragm separates the pericardium and heart in the center and the base of the lungs and the pleura on the side. Same way if we compare the relations on the right side, the right surface we divide into the 3 parts, the upper 1/3, middle 1/3 and the lower 1/3. In the upper 1/3 you find there are the relation of the right lung and its base, the right pleura and the diaphragm. In the middle 1/3 you only find the right pleura and the diaphragm, while in the lower part you only find there is the right dome of the diaphragm. So these are the relation on the right surface of the liver. If you see the relation on the anterior surface, anteriorly there is anterior abdominal wall. So in the center you find the zetesternum, on the side you find there are the costal margin and the attached muscles of the anterior abdominal wall. If you see the relation on the posterior side, see here you find the posterior side. Now see, this is the groove for the inferior vena cava, this is the right lobe of the liver, this is the left lobe of the liver. Now see, if we compare the relation from right to left side, here on the right side posterior surface you find there is an area. This area remains directly in touch with the diaphragm. There is no peritoneal fold overlapping it. So this area we call the bare area of the liver. As we go to the right you find there is a groove for the inferior vena cava. Then you find there is a small area of lobe, this we call the caudate lobe. Over the caudate lobe you find there is the aorta overlapping it. So suppose this is the inferior vena cava, this is the aorta, and here you find the third structure. that is the esophagus. So as we go to the left, you find there is a small concavity. This we call the esophageal impression. And here you find there is a small elevation. This elevation we call the tuber omentale. So if we compare the relation from right to left on the posterior surface, there is the bare area of the liver, there is the groove for the inferior vena cava, lodging the inferior vena cava, then the caudate lobe overlapping the aorta with its ventral branches, and to the left you find there is the esophageal impression. Now if we go on an inferior surface presents the large right lobe, the left lobe, and in the center area you find there is a H, capital H shaped area. Here you find there is a fissure for ligamentum venosum, fissure for ligamentum teres. Here you find the groove, that groove is lodging the, or fossa, the lodging the gallbladder, and here you find this the porta hepatis, right? So this inferior surface shows three main structure. Here you find the caudate lobe, here you find the quadrate lobe, and here you find the porta hepatis. Caudate lobe is situated on the posterior superior part of it, and quadrate lobe is quadrangular in shape, being bounded by four structures. To the left there is a fissure for ligamentum teres, to the right there is a fossa for gallbladder, anteriorly there is the inferior border, and posteriorly there is the porta hepatis. So this is the quadrate lobe, this is the caudate lobe. Now this caudate lobe and quadrate lobe seems to be anatomically of the part of the right lobe, but actually functionally these are the parts of the left lobe, right? Here you find there is the porta hepatis. This porta hepatis is nothing but the hilum of the liver, through which the structures are entering into the liver and coming out of the liver. The structures entering into the liver include the portal vein, the hepatic artery, and the hepatic plexus of nerve, while the structures exiting out includes the right and left hepatic duct, the lymphatics from the liver, and the nerve plexuses. So nerves enters as well as exit from the hilum. Right, so here you find there is a large opening of the portal vein. Here you find there are these two small opening for the hepatic duct, and you find there is a small another opening that is for the hepatic artery. So this is you find in the liver. If we compare the relations in the inferior surface, same way you go from left to right. Here we have seen there is a groove for the, or impression for the esophagus. This will continue into the liver. So in the left side inferior surface you find there is a relation of the fundus of the stomach. The stomach continues to the first part of the duodenum. So at the quadrate lobe you find there is a relation of the first part of the duodenum. Then you find there is the gallbladder. Then you find there is the right area, and anteriorly this part is nothing but the hepatic flexure of the colon. As we go to the posterior side, here you find there is the right kidney, and you find there is the impression for the right suprarenal gland. If you see the major part of the liver is covered by the peritoneum, but the four areas of the liver are not covered by the peritoneum. That includes number one, the fossa for gallbladder. This is not covered by peritoneum. Then you find there is the groove for the vena cava. This is again not covered by the peritoneum. There is the bare area of the liver, which is again not covered by the peritoneum, and the porta hepatis. It is nothing but the two folds of lesser omentum coming over here. So this part is again not covered by the peritoneum. So this is how about the liver. Now see this falciform ligament, as we go up, it splits. So this is one splitting, this is one splitting, and that we call the triangular ligament on left side and the right side, and here you find there is also a part of the coronary ligament. So this is about the different parts, points related to describe the liver. You may ask about certain other points related to liver, that includes, you may be asked about the blood supply, where you reply the liver receives blood supply 20% from the hepatic artery and 80% from the portal vein. The lymphatic drainage of it is into the hepatic group of lymph nodes and ultimately into the celiac group of lymph nodes. Venous drainage, the hepatic vein directly opens into the inferior vena cava at the groove for the inferior vena cava. There is no extra hepatic course of this hepatic vein. Then you may be asked about the applied aspect, where you mention the hepato is the word for the liver. So inflammation of liver that we call hepatitis, the enlargement of the liver that we call hepatomegaly. Sometimes you find there is a parenchymal disease where the main liver parenchyma lost. The condition we call cirrhosis of liver, which is very common in the alcoholics. Same way, if the functions of the liver will lost, the condition we call hepatic failure. In the hepatic failure, there may be a chances of removal of some portion of the liver. The removal of the liver that we call hepatectomy, where we do the partial hepatectomy. Sometimes the healthy liver can be transplanted, so the condition we call the liver transplantation. So these are the various anatomical things, important clinical point of view, so that can be included in the clinical anatomy. Liver generally is not palpable, but enlarged liver can be palpable. While the liver enlarged, it extends down. So generally it occupying the right hypochondrium, but the enlarged liver extend up to the right iliac fossa. So for palpating the liver, one has to go from the right iliac fossa to up toward the right hypochondrium. Right? So this is how the liver. If you see the location, liver occupying the majority of the right hypochondrium, the part of the epigastric and the small part of the left hypochondriac region. So this is how the description of the liver. Just go through it. You may do continuous revision of it, so can perform better in the practical examination. Fine.